Hello students, so this is the third video of our third module, and in last video I was explaining you about the static memory, static RAM memories. So in static RAM memories I was explaining you about the CMOS cells. So what are the merits and demerits we'll see in this video, and then move to the DRAM or dynamic RAM memories. So merits of this static RAM are it has low power consumption because the current flows in the cell only when the cell is being actively accessed. So static RAMs can be accessed quickly. Its access time is in few nanoseconds. So demerits are SRAMs are said to be volatile memories because their contents are lost when the power is interrupted. So whenever the power is being interrupted, so their current values will be lost. So this is the demerit. So in order to overcome this, we are going for the DRAMs. So DRAMs means dynamic RAM memory. So in dynamic RAM memories, again we have two different types, asynchronous and synchronous. So we'll see one by one. So static RAMs are fast, but they come at a high cost. So cost will be more because obviously because of the transistors and the inverters which are being used. Okay, so less expensive RAMs can be implemented if simpler cells are used. Such cells do not retain their states indefinitely, hence they are called as dynamic RAMs. So they will be not retaining their states indefinitely, so they are called as dynamic RAMs. Those how it is and how it will be implemented we will be seeing now. The information stored in the dynamic memory cell in the form of a charge on a capacitor, and this charge can be maintained only for tens of milliseconds. So the contents must be periodically refreshed by restoring this capacitor's charge to its full value. So in order to store information in the cell, the transistor T is turned on and the appropriate voltage is applied to the bit line which charges the capacitor. After transistor is turned off, the capacitor begins to discharge, which is caused by the capacitor's own leakage resistance. So hence the information stored in the cell can be retrieved correctly before the threshold value of the capacitor drops down. So this is the diagram of the dynamic asynchronous DRAMs. So here instead of using 2 bit lines, we are going for only 1 bit line which will be storing the bit value of that particular point of time, and there is a word line to which this bit line will be connected. And instead of using 2 transistors, here we have only 1 transistor and the other one is a capacitor. So this capacitor, it will be holding the charge, and once it is switched, this is in a closed state, or in this transistor will be closed, then whatever capacitor charge will be there, it will be leaked out, it will be going down because of the leakage. So until and unless this capacitor's charge will be above the threshold value, so that value will be retained. If the bit line it will be storing 1 means that will be retained until the charge value will be above the threshold value. So if it reaches below, then again it has to be charged, and it has to be refreshed in order to save or store the value of this bit line. So during the read operation, the transistor is turned on and a sense amplifier connected to the bit line detects whether the charge on the capacitor is above the threshold value. So here important thing is to know whether the charge which is in the capacitor, whether it is in above the threshold value or no. So if charge on the capacitor is greater than the threshold value, then the bit line will be having logic value 1. So if the charge on the capacitor, if it is less than the threshold value, then the bit line will set to a logical value 0. So this is how we are going to measure the values which are being stored in that bit line with the help of the capacitor and the transistor. And this is very cheaper when it is compared to the static RAM. So as we have seen 1K into 8 organization. So similarly here also one internal organization of the memory is being showed, that is 2M into 8 dynamic RAM. So it consists of RAS and CAS, and along with that address lines and row address latch, row decoder, and the cell array, sensor, write circuits, and along with that there is also the column decoder. So we'll see how this works. The 4-bit cells in each row are divided into 512 groups of 8. So 21-bit address is needed to access a byte in the memory. So 12-bit to select a row, 9 bits to specify the groups of the 8-bit in the selected row. So A8 to 0 row address of a byte, A20 to 9 column address of a byte. During read or write operation, the row address is applied first. It is loaded into the row address latch in response to a signal pulse on a row address strobe input of the chip. When a read operation is initiated, all cells on the selected row are read and refreshed. Shortly after the row address is loaded, the column address is applied to the address pins and loaded in the column address strobe. So there are two strobes, row address strobe and the column address strobe, which are used to find the address lines. So the information in this latch is decoded and the appropriate group of 8 sense of write circuits are selected. Read write will be equals to 1, means it is read operation. The output values of the selected circuits are transferred to the data lines D0 to D7. So if it is write operation, then the value will be 0. The information on D0 to D7 are transferred to the selected circuits. So RAS and CAS are active low so that they cause the latching of the address when they change from high to low. So this is because they are indicated by RAS and CAS. To ensure that the contents of the DRAMs are maintained, each row of the cells must be accessed periodically. So refresh operation usually performs this function automatically. So a specialized memory controller circuit provides the necessary control signals RAS and CAS that govern the timing. The processor must take into account the delay in the response of the memory. Such memories are referred to as asynchronous DRAMs. So fast page mode means here the transferring the bytes in sequential order is achieved by applying the consecutive sequences of the column address under the control of successive CAS signals. This scheme allows transferring a block of data at a faster rate. The block of transfer capability is called as fast page mode. That is, we'll be transferring the data very fast. Okay, so this type of block transfer capability is called as fast page mode. So this is about the asynchronous DRAMs.